Hello, Michael. Good morning.
Good morning to you. How are you today? I've got a new background today of the Predator.
You have the angry Viking.
Yeah, he was angry. He should. So, look at that.
It was,
Face.
to be fair, he is right to be angry. That was a ridiculous decision by the referee to wave play on, and then they play on and they get a through ball, and then he decides maybe I won't. Maybe I'll call it back for a free kick. I mean, madness.
No one deserves again. No one deserves that ugly git in the face. Oh, look at that.
Well, that's true.
Respect his personal space.
But in the world, but the good news about that is that although he protested, it will be Arsenal that get docked 2 points.
Or Everton.
Or Everton. Yeah, be Everton. Oh,
Spurs Gate. Not Spurs Gate. Scouse Gate.
Scouse Gate.
That we had a week last week,
didn't we? Didn't we have an interesting week then? So we had one of the guys on our fantasy league had a major rant about the fact we were taking the mick out of Scousers in general, but he just went off on one. And then it got personal about Everton, and he's putting out podcasts and he's doing the whole thing about why Everton have been hard done by and why but Everton admitted guilt, right? Your Honour, I'm guilty. Right? And then they get dot points. And somehow they've been hard done by. Somehow they are being picked on. They admitted guilt.
They did admit guilt. I think they've got away quite lightly to an extent. And they'll survive. But yeah, it was quite right. I didn't realise they were a race. The Scousers, but the way it was like racist and everything. Like, are they a race?
Scouse Gate. Yeah, well, I think they are a race. They are, yes.
Well, the race to the hubcaps.
I mean, but we shouldn't say too much because otherwise it's just going to kick off another episode of Scouse Gate.
This week we've now got a different one, haven't we? We've got SpurArse Gate with Spurs and Arsenal last night. You two bantering on. So we've got a little.
Oh, me and James. Well, James was at boot camp this morning because he's our trainer. I love him because he is like the gift that keeps on giving. He just opens up every opportunity for me to remind him about their dusty trophy cabinet and the fact that the last time they won the league was 1961, of which I actually witnessed. And I keep telling him they were a great Spurs team. If only you'd got to watch them, you could have, you could look back and go, what a great Spurs team.
Yeah, bless them.
But then someone said, he said something about Arteta's Lego hair.
The Lego head.
And I was like, okay, let's get Lego to make a special edition of a fat Australian, right, which he can make over Christmas. Then somebody came in and called him, what was it? Postacoglu Lego.
Postacoglu Lego.
They gave him a new name. I can't say his name anyway, so just call him Lego. Lego.
But there's never going to be an angry Lego piece, is there? That'll never get into Lego. That'll frighten all the kids. That would.
That would frighten the children. Yeah, but one of the guys actually who in our group does work for Lego, so we could probably ask him if he could put a special request in for our favorite football Lego stars.
Yeah, well, you got the fat controller for the old Thomas Tank Engine and everything, so why can't we have him? Yeah,
exactly.
There you go.
So, Michael, what do you want to talk about this week?
Well, what have we got to do this week?
We're in the middle, aren't we? We're in the middle of.
Yeah.
We had week 14, and in our fantasy league, that was the last round of the European Cup. So we've now got almost the 32 going into the thing in the new year.
Yep.
We're in the middle of game week, so we've only had Arsenal and Wolves play last night.
Well, last night, I did have a little look this morning, and let's have a look here. Guy Robinson, whose team is Saka The Net, he got the highest points on 21 points, which isn't bad for only 2 games last night. And it's 3 Arsenal players. I thought, I'll give him credit. He knows what he's talking about. Had a little look at his team. He's got Mings on his bench. And Mings was out after the first game. So why has he got 5 odd million quid tied up? I don't get it.
He hasn't quite grasped the concept of transfers.
No, obviously not. But that's probably actually why.
Having said that, last weekend he scored 71, which was, I think, the fourth highest score we had last weekend. Because last weekend the highest score was JP with 78.
That does explain those down there.
Jeremy Silverstone on 73, and then we had 3 players on 72 and Guy on 71. So we are mocking a guy, get it, who is scoring well.
Yeah, but he's still in 60th place.
Well, yes, yeah, but 60th is good. I am aiming, as you know, with my continual red arrows. I'm aiming for 60th place and beyond.
It actually does say on Tyrone's thing, unknown return date. So it's only 4.1 million.
But at least he's got him on the bench and not in the team.
He's not playing.
I mean, it's a step in the right direction.
The rest of his team is not too bad, actually. But I just laughed at that. He's got really good points, and you look at his bench, and you go, "What the fuck? What you?"
And we've given a lot of stick to Kush, right?
What did he do this? He's only got
Kush is doing well. No, Kush.
Only
Kush is in. So in our European Cup, the way it works out, we've had all these leagues. We've had 5 games each. The top 2 in each group go through, but we've got 3 or 4 that are still to be decided. So Group 1, Baz goes through. But we have a 3-way playoff because 3 of them got 11 points and Kush is one of them. Mm-hmm. So this weekend up and coming, which I think kicks off on Saturday, 12:30 with, I can't remember who it is now.
Palace Liverpool.
Oh, yeah. So that's 3 to Palace, 4 to Liverpool. At 12:30, teams to be locked in by 11. But that week 16, will be the European Cup playoffs for our guys. So Kush, Rob Percy and Neil M will play in one group, and whoever gets the most points out of that will qualify for the last 32. We've got a playoff between Rishi and Simon Huntley. So that's a Spurs versus Man City. And we've got another playoff, but it's not really a playoff because both David and Steve got 14 points each. So they both go through as highest point scorers, but they're going to play off to see who gets second place. So there's still a little bit to play for. I did notice, Michael, and I don't know if anyone is gonna bring this up, but you and your daughter Holly both qualified from Group 14. And I think you threw last weekend so that Holly would get the points to go through. And the other 3 people in your league, if they wish to complain to Fantasy HQ, please do, because we will investigate it. No stone will be left unturned in determining whether you threw the game.
Yeah, I did. I would,
because you played her. So it wasn't even you just picked a bad team because you're playing someone else. You played your daughter, and I'm sure there was whatever there is that word is behind the doors.
Collusion. Is that
collusion? That's the word I was looking for.
I would look
very early on a Wednesday morning.
You got a little angry little bastard there. I'd like to say yes, but I wouldn't know how to do that. It's hard enough picking a team, let alone throwing a team. It's probably must be harder to throw your team. Although Kush did start.
I've been having a backwards and forwards debate with all my Arsenal buddies this morning on one of our WhatsApp groups, because I never wanted Arsenal to buy Raya. I've told Claire this, being the Brentford fan in the group. I've told her, please take him back. She kept saying he's better than Ramsdale. He's absolutely rubbish.
So it's just as shit as Ramsdale.
We don't use words like that on here, Michael.
Just as poopy as Ramsdale.
Well, yeah. I mean, now, yes. I mean, Ramsdale's confidence was completely shot thanks to him being dropped for this goalie who apparently is a really good centre half. But I always thought goalies' jobs was to actually keep the ball out of the net. And if you watched last night, I only caught the highlights because I was at the theatre, because I'm a bit of a lover. If you watch the highlights, I mean, 2 of those 3 goals. I mean, Arsenal struggled to win at Luton 4-3. It should have been 4-1, 4-0. I mean, but Raya evens the game up, and so maybe that's why he's there.
Yeah.
I mean, just awful. If it were me, and money wasn't an issue, in January I'd get rid of both of them, and I'd go out and buy a new number 1 goalie, because Arsenal now have 2 number 2 goalies. Right. And Arteta talks about, well, I brought him in and we're going to rotate. Doesn't matter now. They're both rubbish.
My thing, talking about goalies, obviously we had 3 injured at the weekend. We did have keepers Pope, Alisson, and Jose Sarr injured. So I'm just going to throw a little spanner in here and say, where's he going? Where's this bloke going?
I think he should go back to Man United because they've got a clown of a goalie. But the boy David De Gea, I think, Newcastle need a goalie.
I think, well, he's got Pope's shirt on, hasn't he? He's got his yellow shirt on from the weekend.
Yeah,
bless him. He did go off injured. He looked in agony. Bless him.
This is making England's tournament in the summer a bit difficult because we're left with Pickford.
Well, yeah.
When
you listen to Howe afterwards, he said that Pope's had this injury before, had surgery, and luckily came back. So it's the way he said luckily came back. It's as if, could he not come back from this? Is it that injury he's not going to come back from?
So we were surprised. He turned up one day and said, I'd like to play again. My shoulder's fine.
Yeah. So maybe it's an injury that might end his career. I don't know.
Well, I mean, so he's out. Ramsdale is now rubbish. So so England are left with 1 goalie choice, and that is the mad Jordan Pickford.
Yeah. But then you've got the other people playing fantasy that have now got a choice of all those second keepers are all 3.9 million. And they're all going to play for at least 3 or 4 games. So you could have a keeper that's cheap and do okay. You've got a few reserve keepers doing all right there.
You could. I've got a lovely little story I'd like to share with you. Have you finished with that?
Yeah, go on. Once upon a time.
Once upon a time. No. So I got this email this morning, right? I'm not going to read it all because it's too long. So I'm just going to cut to the thing. In 1978, there was a very talented midfielder for Lazio, and he was a bit of a joker, and his name was Luciano Risticioni, right? And he liked to do all these jokes. I mean, you remember when Gaza would do the same kind of thing? He would do really stupid things like pooing people's,
I owe me money, but yeah, carry on.
And things like that, and he owes you money, and all that. But this guy in Italy, he did a similar thing. So he did lots of things. And anyway, one day he happened to be in Rome, and he thought it'd be really funny to do what he called the grandmother's gambit. I don't know why it's called the grandmother's gambit, but the idea was that he would go into a jeweler's and pretend to rob the jewelers. So he went in, said, "This is a robbery," and the jeweler shot him dead. You can't make it up, can you? You just cannot make it up.
Are you saying his injury curtailed his football career?
Well, it's a bit more than an injury. It's like on those. I don't know if you ever see those American ads for medicine, and they go through a whole list of side effects. And I was watching one once, and they went through all the side effects, and one of them was death. Now, to me, that's slightly more than a side effect. It's like how do you put in all the list of side effects? You're going to get migraines, you're going to poo yourself with diarrhea, you're going to have whatever, blah blah blah, death. It's like
actually the other ones you mentioned, you just got with age, haven't you? Pooping yourself and stuff like that. That's just what you get with age, isn't it?
Sadly, it is. Yes, it's and I am experiencing all these things now, being old.
That's why we don't do it in the same room. Oh, fuck. Oh.
So anyway, So and what's bizarre though is Gaza also went to Lazio and did a few practical jokes, but hopefully somebody had told him, whatever you do in Italy, do not go into jewelers and go, it's a robbery.
But he has got a thing about guns because he did try and go and get Raoul Moat.
Oh, he did.
Like who shot the guys up in Newcastle. So he's got a bit of a thing about going near guns. But
yeah.
Oh well. Right. Anyway.
Anyway, so that was that. That was my little aside for today. So we've got some big games tonight. We've got some big games at the weekend. We have a big game. Villa versus the mighty Gooners.
Got my Villa top on.
Yeah.
I'm at home working today, so
I must admit I'm a bit worried about that. I might be happy if we get away with a draw.
Oh, you played last night?
No, but round 16 starts this Saturday.
Oh, you're on about that one.
You play tonight, and then you play us. You play two home games, City and us, which is going to be a very interesting judgment of where Villa are in the league.
I think tonight we're going to nick it 2-1 because City have got a few players lost, and Angry Boy is going to be angry. He's taken over from Pickford. Actually, he's the angry man, isn't he? But Arsenal, I think you'll beat us 2-1.
You know what we're going to do this weekend because of the goalie situation? We're actually going to play rush goalies, and we're going to have Declan Rice in goal.
Why don't they just Sabutio games in the middle of the pitch?
Because the great thing about Rice is it doesn't matter which end of the pitch he is. Scored a fantastic goal last night. I mean, he scored 3 goals for us. People say you can't put a price on a player. We paid 105 million, and he's unbelievable. He's the difference between us this season and last season. So I think he's good enough to play in goal. But I don't want him just in goal. I want him to come out and be that centre back that Arteta seems to think Raya is.
That's just reminded me that I read an article about, I think it's FIFA, not the FA, looking at sin bins for players.
Yes.
And they started in grassroots levels in certain places. So what you just said about rush keeper and stuff like that, and I think it's great. Like Haaland, his angry outburst should have been sin bin 5 minutes, or perfect thing for sin binning. What happens if your keeper gets sin binned? Do you have to make a substitution with someone else, or do you have to put one of your players in goal?
Well, I think it's either or, isn't it? I mean, it's down to the manager. Does he play with 10 men? But he can't play with 10 men if it's the goalie who's been sin binned. So either somebody puts on the goalie shirt, I choose Declan Rice, or actually anybody other than any of the goalies. Arsenal, I'd put Jesus or Eddie in goal, Saka. None of them could do as bad. And or they have to make a substitute and bring off an outfield player and put the reserve goalie in. It's a really good idea.
I've just thought you can't make a substitute for the keeper, because then after 5 minutes, the keeper has to come back on. The player who's sin binned has to come back on. You then have 2 keepers on the pitch.
But does he have to? No, but hang on. Does he have to come back on?
Oh, well, then he'd have to be substituted in the sin bin.
Yeah.
Well, then you'd be making 2 substitutions. Yeah.
No, you'd be making 1 substitution.
No, you'd be doing 1 to put a keeper in.
Yeah.
So, and then if you don't want that keeper back on, so you've got 2 keepers on the pitch, you'd have to.
I'm sure they'd come up with some rules where it's only 1, because that would then get into the sublime ridiculous. Which, don't forget, we're already
get punished for doing your shit. For being awkward and angry, you get punished for it. I think put one of your players on. They have to put the shirt on for 5 minutes. Or just no keeper.
As I said, fine for Arsenal. Because all our outfield players are better than the goalies we have.
You've got 11 goalies. You've got 10 outfield goalies and one midfielder in goal.
Do you think we could have another what we had last year? Because when Martinez left Arsenal, he was he's really angry and he really hates Arsenal. And so it was quite comical last year when the ball hit the back of his head and went in. I mean, I don't know if that's repeatable this season.
I'll tell you what, if we bring in a sin bin, we wouldn't have a keeper. Because Martinez is the master of wasting time and being an awkward git, isn't he?
He'd be in the sin bin a lot, wouldn't he?
Oh, he catches the ball, then falls down on the deck all the time. It's just like, oh, get up.
Yeah, no, I think a sin bin is going to be a good idea.
I'll do.
But then we're already in the twilight zone because I think with VAR, I mean, it's just a farce. The whole thing is a farce. They make one decision on one game, and the exact same thing happens in another game, and it's that they give a different result, and it's like,
I still don't get some of the offside rules. A few weeks back, it was, I think, Chelsea v Spurs, and on the halfway line, the ball was kicked out to Son on the wing. No, Son was in the middle bit, and so was who was the old England defender that plays for Spurs occasionally? Dyer. Dyer was like, they were near the halfway line. So, but the Spurs player was 3 feet in front of Dyer towards their goal. He was offside. So they kicked it to the guy on the wing. They ran down. He passed it. I think it was Son. Son scored by being 3 feet in front of Dyer by the time they got to the goal. And you went, but he was offside.
You sound like every young lad's girlfriend. I don't understand the offside rule. Don't worry about it, love. We'll explain, right? And as men, we're great explainers. And after we've explained the offside rule, they go, I don't get it.
Yeah. Well, I just didn't get that because he scored the goal and he was off. But he beat by, if he would been level with Dyer, when they got to the ball, when they raced back to the goal line, they'd have both been level. Dyer probably could have. But he had that 3 foot advantage. And that 3 foot advantage remained 3 foot. It wasn't fair. And then the other thing on VAR, which pisses me off, is when is it over the goal line? Is it not? And they show you the camera angle that's 10 feet.
No. Oh, do you mean
the goal line?
If it's the goal, they have a watch.
No, not the goal, just the goal line.
Oh, you mean the goal line? Yeah.
In between the two, I've gone like in between the two corner posts.
They should have a watch for that too.
But why is the camera not on the bloody line? The camera they show you is like 10 foot, 15 foot at an angle.
I don't know.
And you go,
Michael, take it up with the FA. I have no idea.
Rant over.
You're going to have to go into angry Scouse corner.
God, I'll have to play for Man City. Oh, dear. Oh, I felt like Haaland.
Angry Michael.
I was like a Viking there. Well, look, it's got the same hairstyle as him, hasn't it?
Yeah. Yes. So, are we doing any more nonsense today, or what are we doing?
What have I got down here? Villa got a great chance. Isaac, well, he's probably going to do all right. Help keepers.
Do we have to do anything with our team?
No, because would be the weekend, though, wouldn't it? So, what is our?
This is it, really. This is the weekend, isn't it?
Yeah.
I just need to. I had it up earlier, as they say.
That's quite good for you at your age.
I know. There is our team. We have 2 transfers.
Well, we may as well use.
If we don't take one of them or both of them, don't forget we don't get any more next week. We'll still have 2 the following week, but we have no money.
Well, Neto, how long's he out for? Because obviously you can sell him.
Well, I did. You see, but it's not very much money, is he? Oh. He's due back in about 2 weeks. You could do what I did. We could do what I did with my team. No. I took Salah out this week.
No.
On the basis that I'm mad. On the basis that I had transfers, but I had no money. So I took him out, which freed up a lot of money. And I then realised after I did that they're playing Sheffield United tonight. So unless Klopp decides to bench him for some bizarre reason, he could score 10, and I could be a man who's destroyed by tomorrow.
Is there any reason to change it? I mean, we've got 2 keepers. Do we want to change a keeper for anyone? But Udogie, West Ham, is on the bench. Mitchell, there's nothing really bad about it, is there?
No. Well, what did we get? What did we get last week? We got this week we got 4 already, but last week we got 49, and the average was 54. So where are we in the league? We're not doing particularly well.
No, we're 59th.
We're going to have to make a decision about the FA Cup. because in our fantasy league we do an FA Cup, which the draw will take place in the next couple of weeks, and the first round will be in January. Do we put the Diamond Dogs in? Because it is a team we picked together, plus our own teams. But then again, if we're drawn against one of our own teams, we could come under dispute or charges for cheating, which you did last weekend with Holly. We don't want to, so I don't know. We have to make that decision. We can make the decision.
I think we should put it in because the decisions have to be made on this forum so people can see we're cheating or not.
People can watch us in real time cheating. I love it.
Yeah, I mean, bearing in mind our subscription did go up massively last week.
I know we are.
The last one wasn't too bad, but the one a couple of weeks back, or whatever, went up huge.
I think we're slowly we're like the boiling of the frog.
I thought you said the boiling of the frog.
The boiling of the frog.
Frog. I thought you said froth, actually. I thought you meant froth, the boiling of the froth. Then you said frog. I thought, oh, Jesus.
Frog.
Okay. What's
the French? The Thierry Henry frog.
Oh.
Yeah. So do we? So the question is, okay. Well, if we don't make any transfers, right? Even though we got 2, but we have no money. So at some point, we got a Salah and a Haaland who are costing us money. Unless we go for get rid of one of these 2 strikers and get a really cheap striker to give ourselves a bit of money. Because without money in the bank, making transfers is going to be very difficult because all the players go up in price. If you swap Neto out 5.5 million, you're going to find another midfielder who's as good as him when he comes back for 5 million. You're not.
Well, I just have.
Who?
Rice is 5.4.
Yep. Yeah. Okay. Well, you can have Rice if you want.
Well, we might as well do a change this week. He's not going to play, so that gives you 0.1 of a million. You like your little money in the bank.
So Rice is playing against Villa this weekend, so you're okay with that?
Yeah.
So you got 2 Arsenal players.
Leave him on the bench. You can leave him on the bench if you all care. But obviously, we would lose.
So you want to get rid of Neto?
Yeah, get rid of him. It's a free transfer, isn't it? Get rid of him. Put Rice in.
Okay.
And you got 0.1 anyway. So there you go.
0.1. Okay. We can celebrate. We got
you like money in the bank. That's £100,000. Don't knock it.
Do you want to make any more changes? Do we want to get rid of it? Are you happy with these strikers?
Yeah. Well, I don't like Darwin for some reason, but I think for some reason I've got to, because I've just got rid of him. So he's going to do well.
Well, he's 7.5. We would have 7.6. So if we go to forward, let's just see what you
can have. Solanke, Edouard. They're both in the top 5, and they're 6.5 and 5.5. But who are they playing this week? So
they say 7.5. So Solanke, as you say, Bournemouth. Bournemouth, I think, have got a decent run coming up.
That's why I've just put him in, because their run's not too bad.
I mean, they could score in any of those games up till Spurs or Liverpool. Well, Spurs. I mean, the thing about Spurs is, as everyone says, oh, amazing. I mean, the commentators keep talking Spurs up as the greatest thing since sliced bread. They've got 1 point out of 12, but let's not hark on about that.
But
the good thing about playing Spurs is they don't mind letting you score because they figure they'll score more. So he could be interesting.
Well, I've put him in. I've put him in, but
Liverpool. It's got to be instead of Darwin.
Yeah. Well, Liverpool are playing Palace next on this weekend coming.
So Liverpool are playing Palace, then Man U, then Arsenal. So they're going to get battered in both of those games. Yeah. They might do. I
can't argue against it because I've put him in. I've put him in my team. I'll just take Darwin.
Let's take him out then. You want to do Solanke? Why not?
Yep, I'll put him in.
Okay, make the transfers, confirm transfers.
Right. So now you're going to
got to pick our team now. So do we want
So do
we want Johnson in goal? They're Liverpool at home, or do we want Areola away at Fulham?
Ariola, Fulham. It's got to be him, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Now, what do you want to do about Rice? Because
who do you want to take out?
I mean, you can't leave him as third place on the bench, can you? He's got to come on.
They're going to play Villa. So who else have we got on there? We haven't got any. Oh, we got Douglas Luiz. So it's pointless having both of them playing because they're just going to neutralise each other, probably, aren't they? So if you want to play him, you either take Douglas Luiz out. Burnley. See, Burnley, they did really well last week, but then lost last night. Salah's got to stay because he's Palace. Bowen, Fulham. If you want to take one of them out, it would be Gilmore or Douglas Luiz, wouldn't it?
Yeah, well, you can leave it as it is because if one of them doesn't play,
or do you want to take a striker out? Oh, no, see, those to Alvarez and Haaland against Luton.
Yeah, I mean, they'll batter Luton. Luton aren't very good. I mean, Luton are triers, which is good, but they're not very good.
It's a shame you can't just have two defenders, really, isn't it?
No. Well, the question is, do you want to take out White because we're away to Villa and put Udogie in because he's at home to Newcastle? Although I think Newcastle have got too much for Spurs. Although they've got a reserve goalie now, so you don't know.
I don't know.
Or we take out Anderson because they're playing Liverpool and put Udogie in.
Oh, okay, yeah. I don't mind that. Yes, that's an option. Yeah, take him out there.
Okay, so we'll switch those two. Switch. And captain. Do we want to keep Haaland as captain?
Against Luton, you have to, really, don't you?
Yeah. And vice captain Salah, obvious. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, that's the team done. That's the week done. That's it. Sort of done, dusted. Good luck to everyone who's playing tonight, especially Villa against.
Sorry. Do we want to take White out against Villa? I mean, Arsenal won't keep a clean sheet. So but then again, will Crystal Palace against Liverpool? Doubtful.
Or you put Udogie in against Newcastle. It's 6 and 2-3. It's 6 and 2-3, which you want to put in.
True.
Do you want to put Rice further up the track on the bench? Or who's on the bench now? Middle. Rice is at top. That's all right. Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe I'll put Anderson as up before Mitchell, just in case.
I reckon at some point we've got to get rid of the two. I don't know. The Palace ones. Should we keep two? Don't know. No, that's for another week.
I mean, Palace. Yeah, and let's not worry about it now. But they got Liverpool, Man City. It's not good. Brighton, Chelsea, Brentford, Arsenal. They got a tough run coming up.
We'll have to get rid of one of them somewhere down the line, won't we?
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
All right. Well, we're done with that nonsense. Yeah. So are we done? I think we're done for this week, aren't we?
We're done for this week. I'll see. Well, let's see how angry Haaland gets tonight. That'll be quite interesting.
Okay, so I'll see you. I'll see you for another edition of the Angry Scouse.
Well, we're on SpurArse Gate at the moment, aren't we? Spurs and Arsenal Gate.
Oh yes. But I much prefer Scouse Gate. It's so much more fun.
Scouse Mouse Gate.
All right
then.
I'll see you soon.
Yes. Bye.